The dog.
Sorry. Miniature, get over there. It is.
Quiet. Sorry about that.
That's right.
What's the guy doing with you?
Hello. Hello.
Hello. How are you doing?
Cool.
You sculpt like your dad?
What?
Do you sculpt miniatures too?
No, not really.
Oh,
But he's designed at least one.
that's cool. This guy is one that's, if I get this to focus, this is going to be one my son designed as well.
Oh, yeah, there's the diamond.
Yeah, that's
I've
right.
got to get something else here. Let's see.
Oh, yeah.
Let's see if this works. Well, anyways, this is the Hangout for May 2016. Welcome, Andrew. You've been on one before, haven't you?
I have. I
It
haven't
was a while ago, though.
been on lately.
Yeah. So what have you been up to?
Well, I can show you a couple of things I've been working on if you like.
Sure.
Yeah. Here's the one that I've been working on, and she's almost complete.
Cool.
I have not added her hair yet, and it's a couple other little details I want to sharpen up. But can you see that? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As well as, I can on a small screen, but, but yeah,
No.
it's coming in clear and focused. So that's good.
Okay. Yeah, this was fun because the scarf was a bit of a challenge, and I'm pretty happy with how it came out. Nice and open looking and gesture, which is what I was going for.
Yeah, very cool. Very fun pose. Are you going to try and cast it, or is it going to stay just for you?
No, just for me. I'll
Cool.
probably pick it. But it'll be one of a kind.
Awesome.
And over here is the piece that one of the pieces that my son designed. And
Cool.
This was very difficult for me to to complete, between the forearms and all the little details. It just and I had some initial problems with the armature. It had to go and correct after it already started, and of course that made it very challenging. But
yeah, that's always tough.
But it was a learning experience, and I've discovered that I get much better results if I bake my miniature, about halfway through, so I can get it all firmed up where I need it to be to add in the other details. So
yeah,
so that was a
good
experience. And I've been doing some conversion work too. Here's one that I'm particularly proud of.
It's not a joking time.
Just remember, we're live on the internet, honey. I just muted it.
I just remember.
Very cool. What's that guy from?
Thank you. It's Ant-Man.
Ah, hope we lost your video.
Yeah. So I did some base work with an old circuit board and ordered this ant that he's riding from another company and fun with it.
Very cool.
Oh, and I can show you the
Oh my, we just lost Andrew. I'm sure he'll be back in a second. Well, anyways, this is a character that I'm working on for my son that he designed. It is going to be a dwarf, a sci-fi dwarf. Not a squat. I guess it could be a squat. Excuse me. But I used to sculpt dwarves a lot back in the day. And I just, when I got done with 100 days, I was like, man, and I haven't been, going through my dwarf miniature collection. I'm like, I've got to sculpt a dwarf. Yeah, no problem. You're back. Cool.
There. But here's the concept sketch for
fun.
My son did.
Did your son paint the miniature, or did you paint it as well for him?
No, I painted it as well. I've been trying to get him interested in painting, but he hasn't really taken to it. I think he just likes watching me work.
Yeah. Well, that's not for everybody.
Yeah.
I have one son that absolutely loves the games, but he gets pretty anxious about doing the modeling.
Oh, yeah.
So he'll play the miniature games all day long, but he always wants me to, or his brother to help build them and obviously paint them. Let's see. Now I gotta decide what I'm gonna do with this guy. This is that beading wire I bought. I'm not sure I like it. It's kind of good. I should say this. I don't mind it when the figure's larger, but when they're smaller, like this is a dwarf armature. And I don't know why this thing won't focus where it needs to. Kind of ticked off with this camera. It's a nice camera, but it never seems to want to go where it needs to. Anyways, this is a much stiffer wire. Let's see. This is the wire I'm using. It is just called. It comes in a little spool like this. I think it actually came in like a blister pack, and it's just called 20 gauge steel gold wire. And it's not really gold, I don't think, or if it is, it's really, 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 really low care because this stuff is dirt cheap. And it's very, very hard, very rigid, but it doesn't snap like those hard brass rods kind of you get from the railroad store or hobby stores.
Right.
So it bends a lot more like the galvanized steel, but it's a lot harder, which can be nice if you want more stability and support. But I find it's a little tough, and I'm always a little worried that I'm gonna, especially because this is soldered, worried I'm gonna snap that joint. But it hasn't happened, so I'm just not used to it as much. But hey, welcome.
Hey, what's up, Tom?
Not much. JWK has joined us.
Working on skeleton armature?
This is not a skeleton armature. This is a dwarf that I told my son I would start for him. So it'll be a little bit before I actually get it finished, but I figured I need to get it underway so that I can work on a little bit here and there and get it to him before he graduates from high school. Not that he's anywhere near that, but before he leaves the home, I'd like to be able to give this to him. My boys have been very desperate for their own miniatures since I sculpted the one for their sister.
Yeah, I can see how that could cause a little bit at once.
Yeah.
The princess, that was a really good sculpture.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah.
Had a lot of fun doing that.
And the Allosaurus Master looks great, man. I saw
Awesome.
That was for Frogsworth. Where did I see? I guess it was on the last day of 100 days.
Yeah, I was working on him the last day, but I didn't quite get him finished. He is finished now, and he's actually, I just saw the master casting of him. Let's see if I can get it to show up. Let's see. Oops, hold on. There we go. Yeah, I just got pictures from the mold maker of everybody being mastered.
Hold on.
It'll turn out great. There's the Allosaurus Master.
Nice.
I was happy that eyebrows worked out so well.
Quiet.
So I guess it's everybody but the Little Princess unicorn miniature, because that one was actually already molded. So yeah, I was very excited. It's always neat to get them off and get them into the molding process. I can put this guy on down. I usually think about the pose a little more before I start. So if you don't have a bit of an idea ahead of time, it's a good way to break your armature. Like playing with it too much, but you have a little bit of leeway. So what have you been working on, Jay?
I kind of paused. I hadn't been working for like the past week and a half.
Mm-hmm.
I got stuck in a game, PC game. I finished the spy, the robot spy.
Cool.
And I was working on the second. I had to restart Klaatu from the day the earth stood still. I restarted him, and I got to almost the same place, and I ran into trouble with the hands again. And then I just decided to take a break for. It was only supposed to be for a day, but then I was like, oh.
It builds up quickly, right? You know, you take a little break, and then it just keeps going. Yeah, I had that happen a bit. I took a break right after the 100 days, and I was just going to take one day, and then it turned into 2, and then I jumped back on because I was like, I could just feel it. I could feel it building up, and I was like, I cannot go like a week without doing this stuff after doing 100 days. That would be such a waste, such a loss.
But that 100 days, I mean, that's 3 months steady that you were doing sculpting and then editing.
Yeah.
Assuming, I don't know what the process for doing videos is, but I can't imagine that it's not time consuming.
Right. Well, yeah, and it, I did everything I could to make it as quick as possible, but anytime it wasn't too bad when I did it all straight on camera, like just record and talk at the same time. But anytime that I had to do a voiceover, that it took more time because,
sure,
you know, you have to take a little bit of time to make sure the lengths are right and things are cut a little more. And you just afford yourself more time to more of a reason to fiddle with it, I guess. So yeah, it was actually, yeah, I'm glad I'm back on it though. Feels good. I have one thing I've noticed though, and I have played some PC games too, you know, during the 100 days and after, but I realized how I don't feel the pull as much as I used to of needing or wanting to play it like I used to, which is awesome because I've got a lot of miniature games that I'm planning on doing and playing, and PC games, ooh, it can take some time.
Yeah, and I get really sucked into them. I just.
Yeah, it's easy too.
Okay.
Also, when I was playing, I was thinking, man, you know, it's fun, but I wasn't getting anything done, and I felt guilty because
Yeah.
it was just, like I said, it was fun, but I really wasn't doing anything. It was just playing.
What game, if you don't mind me asking?
What's it called? Company of Heroes.
Oh wow, yeah, that's a fun one.
Yeah, it's an old one, but
Yeah.
I don't really like first-person shooters. I like more strategy. That kind of is a nice blend.
Yeah, that's a great game. I'm trying to get back in the habit of, if I am going to play a video game, that it's going to be something more finite or that I can feel accomplished, like with a story. Because the game that I have been sucked into playing and always wanted to do is Heroes of the Storm. And that's just, it's super fun, but it's just, you're just playing a match. There's no end. It's just for pure enjoyment and time killing. So, and yeah, very easy to soak away the hours if you're not careful.
Yeah. I put too many hours into it. This is on my Steam account. And Steam is nifty because like right off the bat, it shows you how much time you've been wasting.
Yeah.
Same time.
How funny would that be to mod your Steam account to, instead of saying time played, say time wasted? It's not necessarily a waste, but it sure can be.
It's not real productive.
Right.
It's like I said, it's fun, but it's not, you're not getting anything done.
Yeah. Oh man, what am I gonna do with this guy? I don't know what to do with this arm. He's supposed to have like a big rifle shotgun thing here that he's kind of got based into the ground and, you know, propped up with his hand. And then this he's supposed to have some sort of mug, like his mug of ale. But I think I'm gonna make it a thermos because it's sci-fi, and that would look better than like a ceramic stein or something.
Like drinking and shooting.
Yeah, like, or maybe a mix between a flask and a thermos, you know, something like that. He's got to take it with him and on the battlefield and stuff. It's actually a good idea. Yeah, we'll do that. I don't know. I might have to think about that some. Well, that's cool. So, were you trying to do a 100 days challenge, or you just trying to sculpt?
No, just sculpting. I thought about it. And I might have, if I had caught you earlier, like maybe even like 20 days into it, I might have started just to play, like keep up.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't do 100 days, and then I thought, nah.
Well, it's a big endeavor, you know, and
Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of commitment. I just started, so, well, not just started now. I mean, it's like a couple months, but without those, you know, like week and a half off, it's, I don't want to do that again.
Yep. I hear you.
I really enjoy
many times.
sculpting. It's fun, but it's, you know, you're actually producing something too, so it doesn't feel quite as guilty as just, you know, gaming. Like if I had a sculpting clock, or I logged in to when I sculpt and it said, you know, 100 hours spent sculpting, I wouldn't feel bad. But when I see 100 hours on like Steam, it's like, oh, wow.
Not trying to make anybody feel bad about if they're doing Steam, but or other games. You know, it's all about time management. Nothing wrong with it, but I know for me personally, I can spend a lot of time in there and overdo it, and I'd much rather be overdoing it, sculpture or modeling even. You know, I can't remember. Do you play any games, or how did you get into sculpting?
I just collected miniatures. I never played any games, but I've collected mithril miniatures for.
Oh wow! I remember those. I don't think I ever ended up buying them, but I remember seeing them at the hobby store all the time when I first got into minis.
I'm a big Tolkien nerd.
They were great.
I love Tolkien and I love his stories. I just bought Beowulf on Amazon yesterday.
Cool.
Translation and I guess notes or whatever. I'll find out when I read it. I've read it before. I bought it because I thought maybe my next sculpt I'd like to make a Grendel, or a Grendel and Beowulf and his cohorts.
That's cool. What do you
Randall
think?
first.
Oh, go ahead.
Monsters might be a little easier, so I think maybe
Mhm.
Randall first.
So you mentioning Beowulf made me think of one of my favorite movies. I was curious to get your take on it. What do you think of the 13th Warrior? You ever
Was
seen that?
that the one with Antonio Banderas?
Oh yeah.
I've never seen it.
Oh, okay. I
I,
love
I,
it.
I love movies, and I know movies. That's an oldie, man. Or not an, yeah, I guess it's now.
Yeah, it's pretty old these days.
That came out in like what 2000?
Yeah, I think about then. I don't remember exactly. It was early 2000 because it was while I was still in college.
What did
But,
you think about it?
Oh, I loved it. The funny thing was is that I remember seeing previews for it, and I remember thinking, oh, I should probably go see that. I'd probably like that. But then I totally missed seeing it in the theater. And I know part of the reason was I don't think it was in very long. So it did not do well at all in the theater. But I think I just saw it in the store and was like, oh, I'm just going to buy this. And I bought it, and I love it. It's probably, I don't think I've seen a movie more than that movie. My good friend and I, whenever we would get together to do art or just hang out, we would make it a point to watch it every single time we got together. So I enjoy it a lot. So it's fun. But I would actually recommend the book that's based on, Eaters of the Dead, which is basically Michael Crichton's kind of historical fanciful take of the Beowulf story. Which is pretty cool.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'll tell you if it's like on Netflix or anything, I'll check it out.
Yeah, I don't know if it is.
That's really my only source of.
Yeah. It's hard to go out and, justify buying the movies these days. And so many for
There's
free.
nowhere to buy movies out here. I have to. Well, I get Amazon. I can order anything off the internet, I guess.
Yeah.
But I really was hoping that theater would get Alien, but they didn't get Alien last week, so
Really?
hopefully they'll get it.
I'm very excited to see that. I know Prometheus can be pretty divisive, but I really liked it.
Yeah, and I think that's
Really enjoyed it, even with its flaws.
one of those you really liked it or you just didn't like it at all movies.
Mhm.
Because I've had friends and we usually have the same taste in films. Some of my friends just didn't like Prometheus at all.
Yeah.
And it confounds me. I'm like, oh, how could you? I don't get it. I loved it. Anyway,
Let me see something real quick. I feel like there was some sort of chat control panel I was on before that I forgot to open this time. I have to remember how to get there. Just in case. Oh, here we go. Live control rooms. Here. Oh, Andrew, if you're talking, I can't hear you. Live chat. I think I found it. Okay, I have the live chat open now. If anybody is out there, I don't know if anybody's out there. No viewers. It's just us. I don't think I opened this one up. I think this is unlisted. I've kept it so the only other people that would probably be watching would be other patrons. I don't know. I might open it up. Excuse me, in the future to notify people when I broadcast this, but I like to keep it more intimate, at least initially. But I don't know. It can be fun to have other people asking questions and stuff too. So, anyways,
you'd really need a second pair of eyes, though. I mean,
yeah, you really do. Especially because when I'm sculpting, I don't notice the screen. Maybe something. So. And always, please pardon me if I'm sure I'll end up asking questions that I've asked before and stuff, but it's it's been a month. So, but where are you from, Jay?
from Texas, from a little town called Alpine. It's out by Big Bend National Park in Southwest Texas.
Okay. And you, Andrew, where were you from?
I'm in Alaska.
Oh, wow.
Wow.
I feel like I should remember that. I remembered that.
Yeah, I
We're in Alaska.
originally from the East Coast, but I've been here for about 11 years.
Wow, cool.
Yeah.
Any good game stores up there?
Anchorage has a couple that are okay, and there's a really good comic shop in Fairbanks,
That's
but
cool.
they're all a minimum of 6 hours drive for me. So
Wow.
That's far.
yeah,
I'm used to driving like maybe 3 hours, 4 hours to the city, but just to get like to the game store, 6 hours. That's a long way.
yeah, it is. So you get used to doing your buying online and
Yeah.
socializing online and all that.
You can almost drive across Texas in just a little over 6 hours, man.
Yeah, LF, you
Oh. Where are you again? What was the town?
Valdez.
Valdez. I don't know my geography. I know Valdez is in the southern part. I remember the on Valdez.
It's on the south central coast, about 300 miles from Anchorage.
I have a buddy from Homer.
Wow.
That's what I was asking.
And where?
Homer, Alaska.
Oh, Homer. Yeah, Homer's great.
He works the golf course there.
Nice.
We went to school together.
I had a buddy that moved up there for work, but he was a pastor up there. Not sure if he's back yet. So I know he wasn't going to be up there permanently, but we can talk to him for a little while. I'll have to reach out and see what's up there. He's a huge gamer. Huge gamer. Played lots of Mutant Chronicles Siege of the Citadel with him. I don't remember that old. It's a good one. I was thinking about doing this guy in putty, but I just realized as I'm working on him now, in my brain I was about to go put Fimo on him, so I don't know what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to do Fimo. I find that it's a little easier for me to sculpt when I don't know exactly what something's going to look like when I'm working in Fimo. Just because obviously you have that more time to think about it and fiddle around, stuff like that.
I like working with the epoxy core and then adding the details of the Fimo.
Yeah.
One thing I learned the hard way from my that four-armed sculpt that I showed you before is that applying the epoxy putty on top of the Fimo does not work well.
The epoxy putty on top of what? On top of the Fimo? Oh, we lost him again.
His connection dropped off.
He'll be back. Yeah, he keeps going in and out. He'll be back.
Sorry, my phone keeps dropping the signal.
That's all right. That's right. You said that it did not work to put the putty on top of the Fimo. Are you there, Andrew?
He dropped. Yeah.
I see his picture.
You guys,
There we go.
See me?
I can hear you now.
You can hear
Can't
me?
see you, but we can hear you.
Yeah, my phone keeps dropping the signal. My service here is not great.
You were saying that it's hard to get the epoxy putty to stick to the Fimo
Yeah.
when it was baked or before it was baked or both.
What's that?
Were you trying to stick it on before or after it was baked, or did you try it both times?
Well, I at first I tried it before, and that was just
Mhm.
disastrous because
It can work, but it is very, very hard. Yeah.
yeah, and it just kept falling apart because
Yeah.
you're putting something hard over something soft.
Yeah. The Fimo almost acts like a powder when the putty comes in contact with it because it's so sticky. It kind of just pulls off the particles. It's very weird. Works. I think it works good once it's baked though. Just a second, guys. I'll be right back. Got to get my Fimo.
Oh, there it goes.
Excuse me. Okay. I mixed up a fresh batch. I've been using this darker stuff that's my older Fimo Classic, but I mixed up this new batch of Fimo Professional. So it's a little lighter. I realized when I was, taking pictures of my more recent sculpts that was done in the dark, it was very, very dark, especially next to the Procreate miniatures that I had done. I just didn't photograph as well, so made a little closer to the same value as the Procreate. So
I just
now,
ordered myself some Procreate. I haven't used it before. I haven't gotten it here yet, but I'm looking forward to trying it.
yeah, it's good stuff. I like it. It's still putty, but even if you use it straight, there's something about it that feels just a tad more clay-like. I don't know. It just doesn't bounce quite as much as green stuff. It's still sticky and whatnot. So, but I do use them both a lot. So it's good to learn them both. Or you can just use green stuff the whole time if you can get a hang of that. But I think that's pretty challenging material in my opinion. Wow, this stuff is so much softer and more supple than the old Fimo Classic. When I was sculpting the Owl Swordmaster, I had to put in more Mix Quick conditioner a few times because it was just so getting so stiff just because it's old.
What about mineral oil? Can you use mineral oil to condition Fimo?
Yeah, I think you would be able to do that because it would break it down some. That's actually the Super Sculpey has a conditioner as well. So the conditioner for Fimo is actually another putty, another clay. It's this white stuff. And it's much softer when you mix it in. But for Sculpey, I know they have a bottle of liquid. I've never done that with the Fimo though because it's a little messy. But I would imagine, that would probably do the trick. Because really, it just needs to kind of break down the and soften up the molecules, or I don't know exactly how it works, but yeah, considering what I've seen and how it reacts when I've brushed on the mineral oil,
Right.
I've discovered that Vaseline works really well with the green stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, speaking of green stuff being tricky, what didn't you do the was it a badger that you did?
I did do it, but
And that was entirely green stuff?
that was not.
Oh,
I
no.
tricked everyone. I did this layer just like here. I skinned it in green stuff, and then I bought green Fimo Professional that was the same color.
Okay.
And I did the whole thing in Fimo Professional afterwards, which was actually a little tough because as I'm putting on this Fimo, I can see, well, that's green. I need to get Fimo on it because this is gray. Well, I couldn't tell where I had put Fimo half the time.
Right.
Until I just really laid it on. So that was kind of funny and fun. But yeah, the last time I did a whole sculpting green stuff, whew, oh no, it's been a while. I have to go back to my archives. It's been years. I switched to Procreate almost as soon as I could. So I just never liked sculpting in pure green stuff.
It would be extremely hard for me. I mean,
I know. Well, it's funny to say that too, because that's what so many people did for years and still do. Like the masters, the guys that essentially started all this that they're doing now.
you see like photos of dragons, and it's like
Yeah,
that's
and their
unreal.
stuff's amazing. I mean, in here, I am as a pseudo veteran complaining about how I don't like it and I don't think it's a great material. But yeah, so I feel a little self-conscious when I say that, but so I try and say it didn't. I try and couch it and say it was for me. It didn't work for me because it obviously can work. So, but with that said, though, putty versus Fimo or polyclay, it is nice. There's something nice about sculpting in the the putties and just the figure's done.
Yeah.
And it's very solid and it doesn't feel fragile or anything, and it'll hold up. Well, not that it would hold up better, because depending on how it's molded, any figure can hold up fine nowadays. But those epoxy putty sculpts are very durable.
Okay. So I got a clay conditioning roller, and I was using it to make really flat pieces so I could make the robot spaceship.
Mm-hmm.
No, I found out like when I laid it down, like now I'm finding it's just full of air inside the clay.
Oh, so okay, clay conditioner roller, like a pasta machine kind of thing with the two rollers and crank. Okay. What? And are you using Fimo?
Yes.
You don't have to. I'm just trying to make sure that I understand what you're using in case something would be different.
I've got a
So you're
lot. I got a
finding
lot
air.
of that's what I'm using. And it didn't work out as
Even
well as
when
I
you're-
thought. I thought I was going to make a really nice, flat, smooth surface.
Huh.
It just
Okay, you're trying to maintain it as these flat sheets.
right. I have a form I'm putting it onto. I already made the form and I bulked it up a little bit. But now I've got to smooth out all this. There's like little veins of air inside there.
Yeah, I have never used that except to mix my clay. I've never used it to make. Is this a larger figure or something you're doing?
It's
Just
probably
trying to wrap my head around exactly how large of a piece you're trying to get.
about 30 meters by 30, maybe 25.
That's a decent size for a sheet in miniature terms.
It's larger than that. 70
Oh wow,
70 by 60.
millimeters you said?
But it's just a flat, so like a,
That's the size of the sheet you're trying to make?
no,
Or
it's
that's the size the sheet is.
yeah, it's the size of the ship.
Gotcha.
And it's not complex or anything. It's basically just flat.
Mhm. Gosh, it might, especially if it's a ship, you might actually find it easier to try and use putty or something, or get it to a certain point, even as polyclay, bake it, and then try and do some filing. Technical stuff is always a challenge, and it's almost a skill set in its own right. There's some pretty amazing sculptors out there that really specialize in that. I guess I'd have to see it to make any better suggestions to you, though. But that's very interesting. Yeah, I never realized or noticed the air bubble thing, but I guess it makes sense, especially if you're laying out really large sheets like that and putting it together. You know, as we fold it over, it'll trap air.
Yeah. Oh well.
So right now you're doing it, but you're just having to slowly massage and smooth everything out as you go.
Yeah, I thought I was going to be able to like bypass this. I
Yeah.
thought I was going to like be able to bypass the intricate, you know, burnishing part of it, but
Yeah.
that's not going to work. I'm going to have to do it anyway. I think it'll look better anyway, though. So.
That's good. Yeah, there's rare times where there's true shortcuts, it seems. It's amazing how much of art is just the patience of executing it.
Right.
Just got this guy's skin, that's good. His gun is going to be a tutorial. So a lot of people have been asking for that for a long time, how to sculpt the guns and sci-fi weapons and stuff. So that'll be fun to do.
Yeah, that's something I'd be really interested.
Be prepared to use some putty.
Okay.
You don't have to, but the way I do it, I do a lot of initial filing and stuff, and careful details. You could do certain parts of it with FEMA, but I don't know. Guns, I tend to like them to set up and be ready to go out the gate, not have to worry about baking and stuff. And like I said, since I do so much filing and trimming with them, it's just easier to use putty. So what are your next projects, guys?
My wife wants me to do a custom mini for her, so
Cool.
I got that coming along, and I've got a few more superhero characters that I've got planned. But oh yeah, Agent Venom. It's on my it's on the short list.
Is that the Marvel Agent Venom, or is that a thing? I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like it might
What's
be.
that?
I was wondering, is Agent Venom from Marvel? Is that one of his incarnations nowadays, or is this a character you created?
Yeah, it's Marvel.
Okay, cool. Yeah, I thought I remembered that he had got moved around a bit and who and what he was these days, but I couldn't remember for sure. I don't follow it as much as I used to. My kids still do. How about you, Jay? Just the big spaceship or the drone? You said?
I'm gonna finish the robotic polish yet, and then I've been debating whether I should do a nativity, like a nativity in miniature for my mom or something. But that's like that'd be a really big commitment. And like once you,
A lot of figures.
and once you start, I mean, you can't just do half of it. You have to make animals, and I don't know. But I got 6 months, so
That's-
I might start that in July or August. We'll see. Just kind of whatever strikes my fancy next
Mhm.
until I commit to that nativity. I'll end up doing it eventually. Just,
All right, I have to show this and say this. Quick tip, and I've done this once before. Do not keep using old putty if you can help it. It's worth just throwing it away, and I would actually suggest just getting new, not putty, but clay. So clay I used was really old to start. I didn't even bought. I don't know if you can tell, but like I'm pushing this with the same amount of pressure, and I can squeeze this one so much easier than this one. This is the old, and it can work still, especially if you like more of a stiff clay, but after like this, it just blends so much easier. You have to work at it a lot more when it's hard and old. So I probably just need to throw this stuff away, or I don't know, maybe use it for bulking up an understructure. But anyways, I just wanted to say that little PSA there for anybody that's holding on to their old clay. It's not worth it. But this stuff, oh man, I should see how old it is. It's probably pretty old. It's probably close to, gosh, this might actually be from the batch of clay that I had before I started working for MegaCon. So it could be, it's definitely 2 years old, if not older. So, but it still works. It's just much harder to manipulate. Gotta make some new tabs here. I gotta make a stock tab and cast it up so I don't have to keep filling out the information again and again. Save some time. Little things. That's the way to save time a lot of times, especially if you're sculpting a lot of your own miniatures and stuff. Not necessarily on, I mean, you can save some time with certain techniques, but a lot of this repetitive stuff where everybody's gonna get a tab, you know.
Mhm.
Excuse me. Try and make one to reuse. I kept hoping this cold would be gone by the time we did the hangout. My voice is holding out okay. It was horrible on Monday. I could barely talk.
you got a summer bug.
It was a cold, and now I think allergies ran right into it.
Ugh.
So, but at least my throat's not hurting anymore.
One thing that I've been wanting to try, you asked about what project we're planning. I want to try doing a group sculpt, a group.
Oh, where they are together interacting.
Yeah.
That's
Well, not
cool.
so much interacting, where you've got like a group that all goes together.
Oh, okay.
Like
Theme.
that kind of
That's
thing.
cool. Oh. Now, do you mean like a superhero team where they would go together, but they'd all be different, or do you mean like a squad of troopers where they're basically wearing more of the similar costume but posed differently?
Yeah, I'm thinking like a squad of guards or
Gotcha.
minions or that
Yeah.
they're all set.
That's cool. That's really good practice for sculpting too, because when it's cool and awesome to just do one miniature after another, but you learn a lot when you have to basically make the same miniature again. It teaches a lot of patience, and you get to practice, recreating the same form.
Yeah, I think it would be an interesting challenge to try and get them look the same, but
Mhm.
posed differently or different weapons or whatever. So
Yeah.
I think that would be a good exercise.
Excuse me. I'm finally off camera. I need to cure this. It didn't. It's a little soft because I let it cure in the air, and sometimes this stuff doesn't set up super firm unless you put it under some heat. But still. I might also not put enough A's in it. But no biggie. So any other sculpting questions or anything else in you guys' minds?
My mind changes so rapidly. I was thinking of something just a few minutes ago, and now it's gone.
What miniature games do you guys play, if any?
I actually don't do much gaming these days because, well, there's not much of a gaming community in my town.
Got to recruit your kids.
Yeah, actually, I'm working on that. I need to put some campaign or something together. But
I hear you. It's definitely done. It's
um, I like to. I played the old TSR Marvel superheroes. Was actually kind of what got me into doing miniatures. Started by doing some very simple conversion work on the old TSR figures, and that got me thinking, hey, I could actually make my own from scratch. So that that's the game where I've really done miniatures the most. I've also done some Dungeons and Dragons and GURPS and mostly old school stuff.
Love me some old school.
You got any more interviews coming up, Tom?
I have none recorded yet, but I excuse me, just a second. Ooh, barely controlled coughing fit. Okay. Yeah, I've got several people that I've talked to that I want to, and I just need to get that scheduled and on the calendar. So there'll be some more traditional people. Excuse me. which I wanted to do. It just worked out that that I've had, I guess I've had 2 digital and traditional, but which is funny because I don't know as many digital, but the ones that were available were all digital. So, but yeah, I'm excited to talk to some of these guys. Oh, I want to say this. I doubt you guys will make it because you're pretty far away, but I'm going Origins for a day.
Cool.
That is on, gosh, I'm going on Saturday. I think it's June 17th. And yeah, very excited for that. I haven't been to that show in a long time, but I really liked it way back when. And gosh, I think the last time I went, it and Gen Con were about the same size, which is crazy to think about. It's like 4 times bigger now. Gen Con's 4 times bigger than it now. But I don't know. I always remember, for me, it was always much more fun about the gaming. There's still lots to see and stuff to buy and everything, but so I'm really excited for that, especially since I'm going just for fun.
What other tutorials do you have planned for?
Well, the next one, the one that will be up excuse me, before the month is out, will be Sculpting Skeletons. Excuse me. Then other ones I've got in the works is going to be the sculpting the I want to do sculpting pouches. It won't get voted. Well, it gets a decent amount of votes, but it can't quite happen. It hasn't quite happened yet, so I might just do it if it keeps losing. And I've got a huge list. I want to do fur. I want to do chainmail. There's another one that I came up with the other day. I want to show how I some more step-by-step process for that. Let me see. Pull up my list. There we go. Oops, wrong application. This one. Okay. Let's see, schedule. There's my schedule. I'm going to do one specific. Now, I know I talked about things you need to keep in mind when molding your miniature, but I'm actually going to mold. I'm going to show how a mold is made. That'll be coming up soon. I really want to start doing my, what I call sculpting archives episodes, where I go through my old sculpts. I have almost every sculpt I've ever done since I started sculpting. Really, the only void is when I worked at MegaCon Games, and that's because it's their sculpts because I was there. And but pretty much everything else I have, and I think it'll be a lot of fun to show where I started and the progressions throughout the years and talk about that. Yeah, but several different types of armor tutorials, shields. I'll do that. I don't know. You always feel free to make suggestions. I mean, I try and write down anything. I try and write them down.
Do something on doing mounted figures.
On what?
Mounted figures.
Mounted. Oh, I've never done that. That would be a good. But I would love to. That'd be a good one. Doing horses and then or some sort of beast and then how to mount a figure to it. Yeah, that's a really good idea. I'm gonna write that down. Let's see. Go here. There we go. Excuse me. Yeah, so I've got a big long list, and there's never any. I mean, yeah, I want to go back and I want to do redo some of my older tutorials, or maybe not just redo them, but maybe refine them or approach them from a different angle. I think I could teach some of them a little bit better. or at least show it a little bit better.
Mhm.
That, you know, things that aren't officially in the Mini Sculpting Super Show, but that I made just from when I first started this whole thing. So, but yeah, lots of ideas. So, well, cool, guys. Any last thoughts or comments? It's been our hour is up, and so I need to get out of here. But it's been really great hanging out. But yeah, if there's anything else, I'll talk about it real quick before we.
Thanks for the hangout.
Yeah, well, thank you so much for coming by and hanging out. It's great, always great to see you guys and chat.
Yeah.
Fun time.
Yeah,
Fun time.
cool. All right, well,
All right. Take care.
cheers.